Okay, hello Cloud Gurus and welcome to this lecture. In this lecture, we're going to go ahead and install and configure our client on our EC2 instance. We're not going to do it for the EC2 instance that's in our public subnet. Instead, we're going to use our EC2 instance that's in our private subnet. So you will need to log into the EC2 instance that's in your private subnet. Before we get started though, I just want to go over to EC2 and we're going to go and have a look at this EC2 instance. We know this EC2 instance is our MySQL server and it's running in US East 1B. Go down and just have a look at the RDS security group. So it's running on this My RDS security group. We can go and view the inbound rules. What we want to do is we want to go over to this security group and we want to allow it to talk to another security group that we've just created. And you can see it here. It was created automatically for us. It was the Cloud HSM cluster. So in order for our EC2 instance to be able to manage our Cloud HSM, it needs to also share the same security group as the Cloud HSM. So to do that, we just need to go back over to our EC2 dashboard, click on your MySQL server, go to Actions, and then go over to Network King, click on Change Security Groups, and then just add it here. Make sure you keep that one open as well because you need to be able to SSH. We're going to assign it to 2 security groups, and that has now been done. So let's log in to our EC2 instance that is in our private subnet. So I'm in my public EC2 instance. I'm just going to SSH over EC2-user at, and then over to my 10.0.2. I think it's 143 from memory, -i, and then I'm going to be using my pvk.pem. And there we go. I'm going to elevate my privileges to root, and I'm going to go ahead and clear the screen. Okay, so I'm in my EC2. Okay, so I've logged into my private EC2 instance. The very first thing I'm going to do is just paste this in here. So it was a wget. I was going in and downloading the Cloud HSM client latest RPM. So I have gone ahead and download that. If you have any errors, make sure that you haven't accidentally turned off your NAT gateway and that your NAT gateway still has a route out to the internet. Go ahead and download that. You can find all these commands, by the way, in the resources section of the course. I'm going to grab the next command, which is we're going to go sudo yum install -y, and we're basically going to go in and install the software, and that can take a little bit of time. It's not too much time. So I've installed it. Now the next thing we need to do is we're going to need to grab our certificate that we used in order to initialize our cluster. So I should hopefully still have AWS S3 access. I didn't take it away. So what I want to do is I want to copy my customer certificate. So I want AWS S3 LS, and then in my actual S3 bucket, we're going to do a Cloud Guru certificate bucket and hit enter. This is going to tell me of all the files inside that bucket, and the file that I want is this customer ca.crt. Again, if you want to understand your present working directory, just type in pwd. I just always get into the habit of that. I know that I'm in the home/home/EC2, but it's just something I do out of habit, so I don't make errors going along. So now what I want to do is do AWS S3 and then copy, and then my S3 bucket. And I want to copy my, so it was called a Cloud Guru certificate bucket, and then /, and then the name of the file is customer ca.crt. And then we're going to copy that over to my home/EC2 user directory. Go ahead and hit enter. That has now downloaded. If I type in ls, I'll be able to see it in here. So I can see my download, my RPM download, as well as my customer ca.crt. I'm going to clear the screen. And then what I want to do is I want to copy the customer ca.crt, and I want to copy it to my /opt/cloud hsm/etc/ that's it. And then you will need to be a root level user in order to do this, or have elevated privileges. So that has now copied across. And the very last thing I need to do is I need to go in and run this command. I will need the private IP address for my Cloud HSM. So how do I do that? Well, we go into Cloud HSM, we take a look at our cluster, and we click on here. And in here, we can see its private address. So it's 10.0.2.135. So I'm going to copy that into my clipboard, paste that in here. There we go. And then let's copy this into our terminal window and hit enter. And there we go. It's inserted the basically the private IP address into our configuration files. Now, I am going to end the lecture here because the next thing we're going to do is we're going to log in for the very first time to our Cloud HSM, and we're going to do a bunch of things around user permissions. So you need to understand the different levels of users within Cloud HSM. Once we've done that, we're going to generate our public and private key, and we're going to export it out, and then we're going to use it to provision a new EC2 instance using our new public key, and we're going to use our private key that we've used Cloud HSM to generate in order to SSH into it. So if you've got the time, join me in the next lecture. Thank you.